Hello. Hope you guys are going well, enjoying your holidays, not doing too much work. If you are on holidays, otherwise you might be watching this in class. So I've got my coffee with me. Sadly, no fish swimming around in the background. The green screen's not working. Not really. It's not a green screen. It's a real fish tank, and I'm at work. I've got some beautiful views of Sydney here, which is very nice. A bit different than from my when I'm working from home. So the first thing I want to do is, yes, you can see all the all the projects that I'm working on. One of the most recent projects I worked on was a course on sexual consent, and it's been picked up by the national media. Um, See if you can figure out where it's gone. But I want to get back to Python today, and that is we had some problems with pip and knowing how to install it correctly. Now, I do apologize for that. I kind of forgot that there could be some of these problems because when you download the IDE, it does automatically install pip for you, but can be problems. So the best way to fix this, um, and this is the best way to fix this, if I've got three monitors and it's a bit confusing. All right, you hit Python and then you uninstall. So click on uninstall, let it completely uninstall. This is for Windows, we'll go through Mac in a second. And then you hit, once you're reinstalling it, make sure you add Python 3.9 to path and then hit install now. If you don't do that, it won't work. Let it install. It's installing. Have I installed it twice? No. Just wait a second for it to install. Waiting patiently, and there we go. Python has installed. That's so exciting. Now pip should be working. The way to tell if pip is working, go back to your project, hit Shift key, open Windows shell, and then type in something. So pip install play sound, I think it is. If that happens, that means it's working. Cool. Fantastic. Or it downloads. I've already downloaded pip play sound, so it's not going to re-download that for me. I'm so excited about this. Great. Now, if you are on a Mac, you need to go to Terminal, and I'm hopefully going to say this right. You need to go, you type in here pip3. I'm doing this from memory. And then you go pip3 install, and then just go Q, like that. Didn't I already give a command? Q. That's how you do it. I've done it on a couple of different Macs. Not sure why the PC doesn't like me putting that in, but that's fine. Let's go to the job now. To the program. So we've got part 3, and we've added the audio. We've added a Pokédex. It's been pretty cool to see all of this, and we've even added time in here so that it's going to slow down a little bit because Pokemon doesn't go like that. There's a little bit time to catch your breath, and that's what we've done here. Well, we're going to do a couple of interesting things here, and the first thing that we're going to do, if I can get it to the right screen, is we're going to do, sorry, give me 1 second, part 4. And as you can see here, it actually is ASCII. We are turning an image into ASCII, which is really cool. I found a really cool library. So we're going to use that today. So open up your Python program, open up your terminal or PowerShell, and then go pip install ASCII magic. and it should install ASCII Magic. So we could create a script ourselves to turn that JPEG or PNG, so it is a JPEG, that JPEG into ASCII. Let's just keep it simple. So we're going to use a library that I found called ASCII Magic. Let's just check out that library right now. ASCII Magic. This is it here, and we need to ensure that we understand the variables that we can pass through. So we can pass, we've got to import, so let's do that now. Import ASCII Magic. You see, this is where we learn how to do some of the more advanced stuff that Grok won't tell you. He's looking at the libraries, and there's so many awesome libraries out there. So then we got to add here, let's put it here, and we're going to put in here output moon. Just copy this and paste it. Now we don't have an image of the moon, so when we run this, what's going to happen? What Pokemon do you want to use? Nothing is happening. So we need to get the image of a particular thing. So create a new folder called images and get the Pokemon image that will be on Edmodo, or download one. Now I have cleaned up the image a little bit, and so change this from images to Pokemon, save it, and then run. So that we don't see this in the shell, we have to go to the terminal here, and there we go. It's working great. But there's some settings we can play with. We can, if we want. There's a number of settings. So path, we can add the number of columns. We can change the color. So let's try doing that now. We're going to go columns is equal to 140. Means it's going to be 140 columns. We're going to make the back black or blue if you want, but I'm going to do blue, black. You can feel free to change this and modify it. Back dot black. And make sure you write it exactly the same. And then width ratio equals 4. Feel free to experiment with that. I have done a bit of experimentation, so I know what looks good. So feel free to modify that and just experiment with different things. We're going to continue on. We're already what? And this is an 8-minute video. Excellent. Now we're going to. So we've got an image now. The enemy shows, which is really cool. We're now going to do something a little bit different. And that is, instead of just having the battle and then it finishes abruptly, we're going to actually create a new function called walk. And so once the Pokemon has fainted, we're going to create this new function here called walk. And what this means is, as if you play Pokemon, you'll know that the game doesn't end if your Pokemon faints. It's not like you've got to go back to Professor Oak and choose your Pokemon again. You go to a Poke Center, or you go, or if you win, you keep moving on. So let's do that now. So we're going to add a couple of variables here. Explore is equal to true. This is my boolean variable, and battle is equal to 0. And that's my integer variable. Now, so while explore, and we don't want them just to do it once. So we don't want them to move and then there's a battle. We want it to be random. Now, the sort of style we're going to build here is the text-based games from the late 80s, early 90s. You may have not ever played them. I recommend you do that. They're not bad. They're quite interesting to see the dynamics and mechanics of how they work. And that's to an extent what we're building is a sort of game from the 80s here. Pokemon before the 90s. Because Pokemon came out in 1996, I think it was. Okay, so while explore, move is equal to input. And choose the following commands. And then heal, move, and then we'll close it up. Excellent. Once you have done that, save it, test it. I'm not going to show my testing just because I want to keep moving on. So we've got 2 commands. Awesome. We're now going to, this is where we're going to use that battle variable we created and randomly decide when the user has moved that they will actually be attacked. So let's do that. Random.rand int 0, 2. So there's a pretty high chance that they're going to go into a battle. So if battle is equal to 0, print you moved. Elif battle is equal to 1, equal to 1, print something silly, Team Rocket spotted you. Time to stop you this time. Time to stop them this time. Then we make explore equals to false. Then main is Pokemon. So there we go. We now have a loop where the main, we will still just call it the main, but the main will ask them what sort of Pokemon do they want to use, choose one for the enemy, and then the battle will begin. Once the battle is over, they'll go back to walking around. It is still a very basic game here, but it's starting to get there. So hopefully you guys have been able to work on that and understand what we're doing. We're going to continue next time with building that function out a bit more.